Well, hi friends. It's Debbie with Debbie Gets Crafty, and today we are going to continue our fun with miniature pictures. And this is our series of miniature pictures of doors. This is a kit that I got from Temu, and so I thought we would work on this pretty purple door today. I have all of my colors set up in order the way I want to go ahead and work from the lower left hand corner over. So let's get started. And let me just grab my clock. There we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and bring it in. And pardon me for 1 second. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, so I have my little froggy voice going on. Let's go ahead and bring it in. I'll bring it out just a little bit there. There we go. Okay. And I have my tray. I have my wax. I am ready to roll. There we go. And I have all of my colors set out, and I've been using this pen. My twin sister Judy from Crafting with Judy got me this pen, and I think it matches pretty nicely with this door today. Checking to make sure I have wax in my pen, which I do, and we'll get started. Let's get ready to go. All right, so we'll start out with the number 2, because that is the color that is in the lower left of this picture. So we'll go ahead, we'll shake our colors. It's a pretty blue. There you go. These are square drills, and remove our protective paper. All right, here we go. So I hope you're having a great day. I'm filming this on the last Saturday of July. Can't hardly believe I'm saying that. And we're still in July when I'm filming this, the Tour de France is still on, so I have that playing in the background. And was that a number? Yes, it was. Okay. So this is the last weekend of the tour, so it's been so much fun to watch this year. Very, very interesting. So I'll probably go halfway up the picture where the number 2 is, and then work my way over to the next line, and then go over, and then I'll fill in the top portion after that. I like to do things a little different every now and again. I hope you're enjoying this series of miniature pictures. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that, but it must be because it's early in the morning for me. Here we go. So we'll go down here and find another 2 to fill in. There are a lot of colors on each of these doors. It's very interesting that they have so many colors, but they come out so pretty. But a lot of colors. They're very bright colors too. And of course, the drills tend to be a little small sometimes for the area that they're supposed to fill in. It's, you know, a set from Temu, so I'm not terribly upset about that. Just as long as I get to diamond paint. And as long as I get to diamond paint with you. That's what counts. Our time together. There we go. And even though these drills tend to be a little smaller than the area that they're supposed to fit, once your picture is complete, and you are looking at the picture as you should, you know, from a distance, you can't tell. You can't tell. Let me do this. I have my protective sheet. Let me just go ahead and cover this lower portion with my protective sheet so I can set my drills there, and I can continue on. There we go. I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing here, filling in the number 2, this pretty light blue. Go ahead and straighten that out. There we go. And I keep my clock out here, my little digital clock, because I can only film like a half an hour at a time for it to upload correctly. So before I go to edit, you know, when I go to upload it, it only, the particular program that I use to edit, oops, if I try to upload things that are more than half an hour long, it won't accept it for some reason. So I just time it, and then I take a little break in between. But I'm always mindful of the time. And friends, I'll tell you, at the time I'm filming this, even at 6 a.m., It's blistering hot outside already. We've had such a heat wave. I know I'm not the only one suffering from it. A lot of my friends out there are in the same boat, and it's just been absolutely miserable. We lost our power for a little while yesterday. Now you're seeing this a couple of weeks after it happened, but yeah, we lost power. It was a Friday. It was the middle of the work day for Judy and myself. So we both work from home. We both have our offices in our rooms. And all of a sudden, I'm on the phone and Judy, I think, was at lunch at the time. She was just getting ready to go back from lunch. And I was actually going to take my lunch later. It was just around the normal time that I take my lunch. But I had an appointment, a meeting that I had to go to. So I was going to take my lunch later. So I'm just, tootling away on the computer and have my headset on to speak to people on the phone, and all of a sudden everything goes dark and our battery backup chimes in. Now the battery backup that I have, it beeps very loudly, so even if I were to keep power on my computer, it's only, it would only be long enough for me to safely shut my computer down. But I couldn't talk to anybody on the phone because the beeping is just too loud. So I was able to get my computer shut down safely long enough before the juice in the battery backup died. And it was hot yesterday, and the power was out for about 47 minutes. And I'll tell you, in the span of that 47 minutes, that house got hot. It heated up quick. It got mighty uncomfortable, mighty fast. So Judy's lunch was extended. I took an earlier lunch than I thought I was going to take. I ended up taking my lunch break on time. But then, just towards the end of my lunch that I was eating, the power came back on. So, and it didn't take very long. The house was cool in no time. But we were the whole neighborhood went out. Nobody's air conditioning was going. It was super quiet. And there was no storm, no thunder, no rain, nothing like that. We were thinking it may have been one of those rolling blackouts, because it has been so hot this summer. It wouldn't surprise me that the power grid needed a small break. But it's just, when you work from home, it can be inconvenient if you don't know that it's going to happen. And clearly I didn't know it was going to happen. But it all worked out. I was able to communicate with my coworkers and let them know, the power was out, so don't expect to hear from me on the regular channel of communication. So I work with some really great people. So they were more concerned about making sure I was okay and the family was okay, and I said, we're all fine. We just, you know, a power outage. Luckily, no storm or anything, because they're familiar with my story, my backstory with our being through a tornado, living through a tornado, surviving a tornado, I guess, because we did do just that back in 2023. So they're very supportive. If anything like that happened, you know, and like I said, they were more concerned about us and our safety than anything else. So but then the power came back on. We haven't had a problem since. So maybe, and Judy mentioned this. She said maybe it was one of those rolling blackouts, and after a moment I thought about that and I thought, you know what, you're probably right. Gosh, Judy and I remember back in the early 70s, mid 70s, and because we were born and raised in New York State, upstate New York, about a hour and a half north of the city, and we remember seeing on the news in New York City one summer around this same time of year, there was a huge power outage. Middle of summer. I mean, it was just hotter than you could believe. And it was all over the news about this power outage that lasted several hours. And I can only imagine what it was like back then, you know, because not everybody had air conditioning back then. So it was hot enough, but to add to it the dark, you know, the power outage, and this was at night that it happened. So I can't even imagine how scary that would have been. All right, let's go ahead. We'll remove this because I have some more of the number 2 to do down in the lower portion here. And then we will change colors, finally, because it seems like this has been a long time coming to change colors. There we go. But with these small pictures, I like to fill in the whole color for the whole picture. But I do keep the colors all handy. I don't put them away until after I'm done, because usually I figure while I'm going through that I skip a spot. So having the colors handy again helps. All right, so we're done with the color, the number 2. Let me just go ahead, seal that up, and these are in these little bags. That's how I kitted up this particular kit. Alrighty, moving onward. We're going to go to the letter D, which is right next to the 2. This pretty green. Pouring some into the boat. And we'll give the boat a little shake to get these little drills sitting upright so they're easier to pick up. There we go. Pretty spring green. And here we go. We'll continue onward. There we are. Really pretty spring green. So, other than that, the heat is really the main character this week. Oh, actually, I have a story for you. So my husband, Todd, you know Todd, he was called to jury duty. A few months ago, he received a letter. You know, all states every state handles their jury duty process differently. So in Tennessee, he received a letter a few months ago. Dear Mr. Simpson, congratulations, you pre-qualify for jury duty. And so he had to go online, answer some questions, and they said, thank you, don't call us, we'll call you. So a couple months go by, and he receives another letter. Dear Mr. Simpson, congratulations. Starting July 5th, or whenever that was, July 7th, you have to call in every day to see if you have jury duty the following day. He ended up having to go to an orientation for to be a juror one day, and so he started calling or going online. You can do it either way. So he would go online every night at 5 o'clock and check to see if he had jury duty, and he was really pretty lucky until he wasn't. One day after work, we're sitting there having dinner, and he says, oh, by the way, I have to report to the courthouse on Monday at 8 a.m. for jury duty. I have been called. So, to serve on a jury, potentially. So that Monday, he reports to court, and I believe it was by the second day, he pretty much knew he was going to be a juror. And then they started the trial. And the trial was for attempted murder. So they started hearing the prosecution. They started, going through that. And there we go, we're done with the D. And then it lasted just a few days. And then all of a sudden, I'm working one day. He goes to court like he's supposed to. And I'm working. And I keep my phone near me. And I get a text. I'm on my way home. There was a mistrial. Well, evidently, this was not the first trial for this particular case. The first trial ended with a hung jury. And what that means is that if the jury can't come to a unanimous conclusion, then it's considered what they call a hung jury. And the first time this case was tried, it resulted in a hung jury. So this was the second time this case was being tried. And evidently, on this, I believe it was like the third day of testimony, it was in reference to a couple of brothers that were accused of attempted murder. It involved a shooting in a bar parking lot. And both the brothers were, being tried together. And evidently this particular day, one of the brothers didn't show up for court. So they ruled a mistrial. Now, you would think that's where the story ends. And no. Because here in Tennessee, when you're called for jury duty, you are on call for the whole month. So they said, your service here for this particular trial is done. However, you will need to call or go online and look tonight to see if you are selected again to go and be questioned and potentially be a juror for another case. And all this week, he went online 5 o'clock every day and checked, and he said, nope, Monday, I don't have to go. Tuesday, don't have to go. Wednesday, don't have to go. For, Thursday, nope, don't have to go. Friday, I don't have to go. And then yesterday, which was Friday, he goes online. Hi, Mr. Simpson, you're going to be reporting to the courthouse at 8 a.m. on Monday. And this is the last week of July. He said, oh my goodness. So we shall see how that goes. And it's my husband's luck. I mean, it's just, this is his third time? No, second time maybe? Maybe third, being called for jury duty. The first 2 times, he never had to serve. He was never selected. And the process ended pretty quickly. But this time here in Tennessee, they picked him. So I was 8 kinds of jealous because I've always found the whole process fascinating. And I know a lot of folks say, oh, it's a pain in the neck and everything else, but I've always found it fascinating, and I've always wanted to experience it myself. But I've never been called. But Todd, there must be something about this guy, because he's all the time being called for jury duty. I think this is his second time, and Judy, she's been called for jury duty 3 times. Twice for the local judicial system in Florida, and then once for federal case. So, but me, they don't want me. The one thing is, and this was neat, he can actually, because it's been so hot lately, they're actually allowed to wear shorts to court. They have to be below the knee. You have to follow the rules for the dress codes in schools, and their shorts have to be below the knee. If you set your arms down to your sides, your shorts have to be they have to be at least the length of where your fingertips land when you put your hands to your side. So he's got some nice denim cargo shorts and regular cargo shorts that he's been wearing. So I think that's neat. Hang on. For some reason, I don't know why, I just had a little bit of a brain fade. Come on. There we go. So that's been interesting for him. And poor Spoto, you know, that poor dog, Todd's been retired for a year and a half now, and it's been Todd and Spoto literally every day. You know, Todd will go to work, go to, grocery shopping or go to the doctor's office. And that's pretty much all, other than that, he's home with Spoto. So when Todd goes to jury duty and it's time for Judy and I to report to our jobs, to work, Spoto has to go in his kennel for a little while. And then when Judy and I each get our breaks, we run out and, take him out of his kennel and let him into the backyard for a little restroom break and stretch his legs. And then we'll put him back in until we have our lunchtime. Judy gets her lunchtime at 1 o'clock. I get my lunchtime at 2 o'clock. So they overlap by a couple of minutes. Or at least we make sure they do. So this way Spoto can stay out of his kennel for a good 2 hours. And relax for a bit. But, since Todd's been away each day, Spoto is going through some separation anxiety, and his poor little stomach has been suffering. Poor little guy. So, we have been giving him rice, white rice, and steamed chicken and pumpkin. Pumpkin is very good for a dog's digestive system. If a dog is having a problem going too much, then the pumpkin will help stop that. It's like an anti-diarrheal. If a dog is having a problem going and they're constipated, pumpkin actually helps to loosen them up. It's the craziest thing. It works both ways. And it's good for, their digestive system. So we've been giving him pumpkin and steamed chicken and white rice for his little tummy issues. So hopefully once Todd is no longer needed for jury duty and having to report, whoa, tragedy, almost struck. Let me just go ahead, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, friends. Tragedy almost struck. So I wanted to redo my boat here. This is a very light minty color for the letter U. So what I was saying was, hopefully once Todd is no longer needed for jury duty, our little Spoto, his little tummy will calm down a bit. Because he's acting fine. He acts just as crazy as he always does. Crazy and cute. However, in the mornings especially, he doesn't want to eat that much. He just doesn't, want to eat. And he'll lay on our laps in the living room, and you can hear his little stomach gurgling. And he'll just lay there, not wanting to, eat or anything, just laying there with his little tummy gurgling. And then once he finally has a little bit of something to eat, his stomach stops gurgling and he's fine. But the poor guy. But we're also going to get him started on a probiotic, which is good for his gut health. So we're going to do that too. But yeah, Spoto is very, very close to Todd. I mean, Todd retired after the tornado. He decided at that time he just had enough. He was old enough to do so. So he made that decision, and it's worked out really well. And Spoto loves it because he has his daddy all day. So for him not to have Todd all day, it's done stuff, to his little nerves. God bless him, though. As soon as Todd comes home and he gets relaxed for the evening, Spoto jumps up on his lap. He puts both his paws around Todd's leg and just lays there and won't let go. So, other than that, nothing else is going on. I guess, listen, that's enough, right? Serving on a jury for attempted murder. And he didn't have very much to, of course he couldn't say anything during the trial. But after the trial, he gave us, he gave us a little bit of information about what happened and what it was like to be sitting on a jury. And he said it was really boring for the most part. He said a lot of things that were said over those past couple of days were very repetitive. So yeah, he didn't like that. But I mean, it was very, very, very early on. Again, it was only a couple of days worth of testimony that he heard before they decided to call the mistrial, because the one brother didn't show up for court. So we'll see what this next week brings for him as far as the potential of sitting on yet another jury. He said it was boring, but it was interesting at the same time. There we go. I will move up now and move over here, keeping mind on my battery as well. There we go. And see how we're filling in and moving over. That's what I like to do. But you work your picture any way you want. Anybody out there working on miniature pictures along with me? If you are you working on front doors, or what type of set are you working on? We know that after this set, I have a set of sun and moon. And as I was saying, I have my eyes set on a couple of other sets. I'm really enjoying these mini pictures. they're just, I've said it before, they're just big enough for me to work on. With my schedule these days, I don't have really a whole lot of time to work on my diamond painting. And to have a diamond painting just sitting there, a larger picture just sitting there, it bothers me. I want to work on it, but I just don't have the time. And so working on these little miniature pictures, I can start one and complete it all in one setting, and that gives me some kind of satisfaction. I'm doing something that I enjoy, that relaxes me. At the same time, I'm able to finish it and not have it sit there not being done. So it ticks off a lot of boxes for me these days. Typically, I wouldn't mind, having a picture undone and just working on it slowly, but for some reason these days it's just, I like to see the finished product a lot sooner. So, and I'm sitting my tray on my picture, yes, but it's not sticking, as you can tell. The way I have it setting, it's sitting on the drills. So, but other than that, not much else is happening. I was telling you was it last time or the time before, about my record collection and how I like to look on eBay to buy the sets of 20 random albums. Well, I've had, if you know about how eBay works, you can look at something, an item, and then there's a button that you can click that says watch this item. And if the price happens to go down, if the seller decides to lower the price or anything, you'll be notified. Well, over the course of the past couple of weeks, this one seller that I've been following has lowered their price. It started out at this set of 20 records, random pick vintage records, for $17.99. And then I wanted to watch this just to see what would happen. I wasn't ready to pull the trigger yet and buy it. And then I get a notification not too long after that. Oh, this seller, we noticed that you're watching a seller, and this particular seller lowered their price. You can get a set of 20 albums for $14.99. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Still not ready to pull that trigger yet. Well, yesterday I got another notice. Guess what? This seller wants to sell you the set of 20 randomly chosen vinyl records for $11.99 for the set. Well, friends, I am dangerously close to pulling that trigger and getting those albums, because that's a really good deal. I don't think I've ever paid $11.99 for a set of 20 albums before. So I'm really thinking about doing it. The seller has high ratings, so I'm very confident. The rating on the records, they give it a rating of a VG+, which is a very good. VG is very good. Plus, so that's promising. And they have 100% satisfaction rate, this particular seller. So I'm very confident. I've seen, Todd and I love to look at reviews when we buy anything, anywhere. If we're buying something online, we always look at the reviews first. Or even if we're going to buy it at the store, we'll look it up online and look at the reviews. And so I looked at the reviews for this particular seller, and they have very high reviews, very high satisfaction, 100%. So, I mean, you can't get better than that. And so it's making my decision to purchase this set of records from them even more interesting. See, remember I told you in the beginning, I always keep my colors out because I might miss one. I did. I missed a number 2. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to pour one right out on my table, pick it up, and place it. There's a method to my madness, friends. There we go. All right. So continuing on. So yes, I'm really considering pulling the trigger and getting that set of albums because they had some really great albums. And they showed like 4 or 5 different pictures, and each picture you could see the collection that was selected, but you don't know what collection you're going to get. That's what makes it fun. And you know, I looked at the pictures with the different collections and they all look interesting. They all have something that I would enjoy. So I've never been disappointed when I buy the mystery collections. Never. There's always all of the music is always really good. So, all right, we are done with the letter U. At least I think we are. We'll keep it set aside just in case. There we go. And one landed on the table. So let me just go ahead and take care of that. And the next number, or the next letter, is the letter L. This pretty brown, rusty brown color. We have a few of those that need to be put down. And I am keeping my eye again on the battery. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and get started again. There we are. The letter L. This pretty little rusty brown color. So that's really, we're all caught up on me. How about you? What are you up to? I'll keep you posted though with the album situation. Again, I'm still thinking about doing a video about my album collection and showing you some of the albums that I have gotten, that I have obtained. That's about all that's going on with me. Preseason football is ready to start soon, so I'm very excited about that. Other than that, we're just trying to make it through the summer. One day at a time. You know how it goes. One day at a time. That's all you can do. Take a peek up here and see what we're doing with the tour. Okay. So it's the day, second to the last day. The tour ends tomorrow, which will be July 27th. It's a Sunday, which is when they usually end it. And to celebrate, we figured we would make French toast for breakfast. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow morning for breakfast, make French toast in honor of the Tour de France. Alright, so we're going to move on to the number 7, which we only need 5 drills for, so I'm going to see if I can count out 5 drills. Well, I counted out about 7, but that's okay. It's a pretty little peach color, just as a highlight around the picture. There we go. Nice little peach color. Like I said, we only need about 5 of them. We have 1 and we have 2. Down here we have 3, 4, and number 5. There we go. And that's all the number 7s that there were. So now our next number or letter is going to be the letter A. So go ahead and pick that. There we go. And it's a pretty, it's got a mixture of like almost like a gray with a mauve mixed in. It's not a mauve, it's not a gray. You'll see. You'll see. Here we go. I don't know if you can tell. It's a really pretty color. So let's get started. There we go. I hope on the last one that I did, the last door, that was a yellow looking door with the Christmas wreath in the middle. I hope you enjoyed that video. I really enjoyed doing it. For those who didn't watch it, I really hope you do watch it, because what I did was there was a wreath in the middle of that door and it reminded me of a Christmas wreath. And since it was Christmas in July, I wanted to do that one with you. But I wanted to zhuzh it up a bit. Make it a little more extra special for Christmas in July. So what I did was, now remember this is a square drill kit, but I wanted to be different. So I took round rhinestones, red and green rhinestones, and I decorated the wreath on the door, where right in the middle of all these square drills I made a wreath out of round rhinestone drills, and it came out really nice. So I really suggest you watch that video. It was a lot of fun. Keeping my eye on the clock, keeping my eye on, there we go, on the battery power. So I'm going to continue over here but work my way upward. There we go. And I'm going to have to take one of our breaks soon. Oops. This is coming along really nicely. Purple was my mother-in-law's favorite color. God rest her soul. I think about her often. She was my best friend. My mom, my own mom, she was my very best friend, but my mother-in-law, she was a close second. If not tied with my mom. They were both such special women. I was very, very lucky. And purple was her favorite color. I think my mother's favorite color was blue, which I do have a blue door. Maybe I'll do that one next in honor of my mom. There we go. So it looks like all of the letter A is done. And again, we'll keep our colors off to the side just in case, because you never know with me. I'm bound to skip a spot. So the next letter that we're going to do is the letter X, which is a pretty purple color. Nice juicy purple. So, get that. And actually the color that I just did, that letter A, it's almost like a lilac mixed with a gray color. That's what I want to say. Not a mauve, but a lilac mixed with a gray. So it complements the X, the purple for the letter X, really nicely. And here we go. Do a couple of these. I was seeing online on Facebook a bunch of people posting pictures of, oh, I'm in my local Walmart and Diamond Dot pictures are like $5. Last weekend, Judy and Todd and myself, we went to Walmart. I couldn't find any place that had Diamond Dots for $5. They do have kits for like, no, I don't like that drill. They do have kits for $9.99. Or $9.98 rather, and they have like a camping scene. They have one with cowboy boots and all that. Really pretty, you know, their newest set that they have out. But I didn't see any of the old sets out for $5. I'm gonna look again this week when I go out. So and really that's about it. I might place a small Temu order. Like I said, I have some miniature sets that we want to get and other nonsense things. You know, when you shop Temu, you never know you want it until you see it. So okay. It's coming along really nicely. So this darker color, purple, is outlining the door. Here we go. So what I need to do is take a quick break, my friends. I'm going to change my battery and I will be right back. See you in a minute. And we're back. All right. So continuing on, let us see here. X, 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 there we go. Working on the letter X. My drills may not be perfectly aligned, and I'm okay with that. It's early in the morning, so my eyesight's not all that great. And as I was saying, these drills are a little small for the area that they're supposed to fill, so that's okay though. That is a-okay, I don't care. Heck, there's bigger things in this world to worry about. These little pictures, that's not one of them. like I say, I'm just happy to spend some time with you and working on these and doing a full, setting. It really gives us some time to spend together, which is good. I haven't been putting out videos lately. Well, as of lately I have been, but before that it's been a while. Just needed a break. Just wanted to spend time with my family. Judy had just moved in, and I just wanted to spend time with her, and I still pinch myself thinking, it's real. My twin sister lives with us now, and it's the best thing ever. I'm so grateful. Spoto adores her. They are best buddies. I love this purple. I can't wait to see the other purple. The number 3 is another shade of purple. That's going to be neat. Let me see something here. I don't know why I was just noticing this. But I want to see, did I miss picking a color up? I think I did. Okay. Hang on. Maybe I did. Oops. I can't read that. I did. I think it's the letter F. It's a blue color. It's really hard to see. So I'll have to look at the letter F in my collection. Yes, we're going to stop production for just a second here while I check this out, because it'll bother me until I do. So, let's see here. Let me pull out the letter F and see what that is. And yes, it is. That is a color that belongs here. So, as soon as we're done with the letter X, before I go any further, I'll put that color down. Alrighty, back to what we were doing. So you just took a peek. You were front row center for my thought process. Well, because I came across this color here in the corners of the doors, and I didn't think I had that color pulled, and I didn't. So I had to pull it. This way I know I have all the colors out and ready to go. Isn't that crazy? But that's my process, my thought process. Everybody's different. Everybody is different. Let's embrace our differences. Because who knows, sometimes you learn from somebody whose thought process is different. If you're willing to learn and open to other people's ideas and their thought processes behind how they do things, sometimes you can pick up some knowledge and it works to your benefit. Oh, I see a little something here. Doesn't belong. There we go. Oh, jeez. Louise, tragedy almost struck again. Goodness. But, as I was saying, if you're willing and, open-minded enough to see other people's points of view and see what their thought process is, sometimes you can learn and pick up something that might benefit you as well. The more you know, my friends. Oh, goodness. Since it's actually almost 7 o'clock now. We've been at this for over an hour. That's okay. We're going to stick to it until this picture is completed. You're in it for the long haul. Grab yourself something to drink. When I'm done, it'll be time for me to have a cup of coffee. And I might sit outside on my deck. Todd's got the awning up. So, but it's been so bloody hot. We've not really been able to enjoy it this year. It's been so disappointing. First off, we couldn't put it up and in the time frame that we normally do because we had to have a lot of the deck replaced because there were some rotten joists that they found and rotten, planks of wood, so they had to literally pull it all apart right down to the joists and rebuild it. And it's better than ever. Looks great. And but that delayed us from setting our awning up on our deck when we normally do. But now it's up, and we even have a little light, a little solar light on the inside that Todd got from Temu, and that works really nicely. Although unfortunately we haven't been going out at night to sit and enjoy it because it's been so bloody hot. So we're hoping that soon this heat wave is going to run its course. Although we're headed into August, which is typically really the dog days of summer. And but that's okay. Hopefully the heat wave will, like I said, run its course and allow us to enjoy our back deck again. I mean, it's been so hot, we only allowed Spoto to go out just long enough to do his business, maybe take a little run around the yard once or twice and then back in the house, because the heat, it's no good on your pets either. So we've been super diligent with keeping him safe as well. Oh, okay, Debbie. There we go. That was quite twisted, but nothing we couldn't fix. So, other than that, not much else is cooking. Not much else is cooking. Speaking of cooking, we've been been so hot to cook, but Todd, he'll come home from court. He'll get home by 4:30. I don't get out of work until 7, and that man still makes sure that there's a hot meal on the table for us when I'm done with work. God bless him. But we've been trying to, make it as easy as possible. And especially since it's summertime, hamburgers, hot dogs, something quick, something easy. I might make some potato salad this weekend. And, stuff that we can just throw on the table and have a quick meal. And he doesn't have to bother standing over the stove or the oven, cooking all that much. honestly, it's been too hot even to cook outside on the Blackstone. That's why tomorrow he's going to make our French toast out on the Blackstone, because it'll be in the morning, so before the heat really sets in. It'll be warm, but it's not going to really be, you know, blistering hot until a little later in the day. Let's see here. I've probably been doing some diamond painting off camera. Sorry about that. I've been paying more attention to the clock. I changed my battery during our little break, so we don't have to worry about that. Gee whiz, Deb. Get your aim straight. Goodness, Deb. Let's do a little adjusting. There we go. And work is good, work is busy, so that's good. And honestly, other than that, not much else is going on. Really pretty color here, this purple. I know quite a few people who like the color purple. There we go. Let's see, do we have any more of the X? No, I don't think so. But we'll keep it set aside just in case. You never know. You never know. Now, I was going to do the color number 3 first, but I'm going to do this one that I just realized. We don't need that many. There we go. It's a pretty, almost a cornflower color. All right. Here we go. And this is the letter F. Oops. There we go. Just in the corners. They're accenting, highlighting. Gives a little contrast. There we go. Yeah, everybody's still in their room so far. It's 7 o'clock now, but everybody's still in their rooms. Judy's probably watching television right now, and I don't know if Todd and Spoto are even awake. Let's see, that looks like that was the last one of the F that I needed, so okay. We'll put that away and then back to our regularly scheduled diamond painting. There we go. Oh, I was lucky I caught that. So now we'll go on to the number 3, which is another pretty purple, a little lighter. There we go. I think we have another purple door in the collection as well, and I'll do that one later on in the series. So, and we're almost done with this. It's coming along really pretty. These doors have been a lot of fun. All these miniature pictures that I've been doing have been so much fun. I've had such a good time. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, I did forget one of those letter F. I tell you. Just have to pour one out. There we go. Have it on my table, flip it over. There we go. Well, that makes sense now. Okay. Beautiful. Crisis averted. I forget what I was talking about. Oh well. I'm just gonna quietly diamond paint for a few minutes. Do the lower half of the door and then I'll work on the upper half. Oh, I am ready for a cup of coffee, I'll tell you that. There we go. Coming along very nicely. There we go. You may hear the humming of my fan in the background. A little white noise. All right, so I'm going to continue on over here, filling in the number 3 around the door. And I'm just using the standard wax that comes with the kit and the tool tray, the drill tray that comes with the kit. Well, this is from another kit, but this is a drill tray that came with a kit. And my own pen that my sister Judy gifted to me. I do have a metal single placer on it. I prefer the metal single placers. So that's what I have. And I hear my little man in the background, so he'll probably come visit soon. A barrel through the door. Try to jump up on the bed. Sometimes he makes it. I have a new bed frame for my bed here in my room. Todd and I. Oh, I hear him now. He might be coming in. And this new bed frame sets up quite high. So much so that I'm able to put totes underneath the bed for storage, which works out well. And it's easier for me to get in and out of bed now. So, but Spoto, I mean, he jumps it, you know, he jumps up there like it's nothing. But Todd and I, we sleep in separate rooms because I am very restless. The older I get, the more restless I tend to sleep. And I don't sleep that well anyway. And he snores. So that bothers me. I don't want to bother him with me flipping and flopping all night long. So we decided years ago that it would be best if we slept in separate rooms. And a lot of people do that these days. So the bed that I had, it was a platform bed, and it sat very low to the ground, which is great if you're a younger person with a better back and legs. I am neither young, and I do not have a good back and legs, so it was a constant struggle for me to get up off this bed. Well, we found a frame. Believe it or not, it came from Temu. It's a steel frame, and it's very tall. Call it a box spring or frame, whatever you want to call it. I forgot one of the letter X. There we go. So that's what I was doing, filling it in. So anyway, oh, here we are. Pardon me, friends. I need to say hello to my little baby boy. Hi, babes. Hi, sweetheart. Did you have a good night? Did you have a good night? What are you doing? Hi there. Hi, cutie pie. Hi, cutie pie. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Judes. So anyway, friends, I got to say hello to the whole family. So they're all out there. Todd's going to take Spoto out for his morning constitutional. Judy's going to probably make some coffee for us. She always does. Bless her heart. And I get to continue to visit with you and finish up this beautiful painting. Our lovely door in our series. I really hope you're enjoying this series. I'm enjoying bringing it to you. See, I forgot another number 3. I tell you, just about all these colors today, I've forgotten, missed one somewhere. There we go. I think we are set for that. Let's go on to the number 4, and that's a lilac color. And hello, sis. Say hi to our friends.
Hi, friends.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna go make coffee.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you.
Kisses.
Kisses. Love you.
Love you.
So, that was Judy from Crafting with Judy. Of course, you all know she's my twin sister and the best friend I have ever had. My first best friend ever. So, she is going to make us some coffee. There we go. Oh, this picture is coming out so pretty. And like I was saying, I hope you enjoy this series. I am really enjoying bringing it with you, to you, I should say, with you. Well, we're on our journey of miniature pictures together, right? So, this one's a long version today. My word. But we're almost done. But that's okay. So just filling in. We only have about, well, 5 colors left. But after we get through the number 4, the only other number that has a lot of area to cover is the number 6, I believe, which is the gray above the door. So that'll get filled in. Probably, I think I'll do that next. But this has been a lot of fun. And I love the variety of sets that you can get for the miniatures. Watching the clock because I might have to take another quick break. We've been at this for almost an hour and a half. This is, there were a lot of colors. There was a lot to do with this particular door. But that's okay. I love spending the time with you, my friends. There we go. Filling in. There we are. Like I said, for the exception of the color, the number 6, I think it's going to go a lot quicker now, from now until we finish this particular picture. Oopsie. There we go. Like I'm all done with the number 4. See how pretty that came out? Really pretty. I happen to have a blue door. It almost reminds me of Doctor Who. For some reason, I don't know why. Doctor Who had a TARDIS. I guess that's what they call it. But for some reason, this blue door speaks to me and gives me this Doctor Who feeling. So maybe I'll do that one next week. Plus, blue was my mom's favorite color, so... And I will be darned if I didn't forget another F. It's a good thing I still have my colors out. All right, pour one out on the table because that's all I need. It's just the one. There we go. And I actually poured 3. So the last 2 go in here. And I found a drill that belongs with the number 4. So let me do that real quick. Put that there. Excellent. All right. This is a darker gray color. So we'll work on that. Fill that all in. And then once the number 6 is filled in, it's really going to go quickly. And this is framing this little half moon window above the door. We happen to have a half moon window above our door, and I got from Temu 3 little stained glass looking they're not really stained glass, but they look like stained glass little medallions, and we have them hanging up in there, and it's so pretty because we don't get direct sunlight, so but we do get some, light that comes through there, especially in the morning. So it's so pretty to look at this window in the morning with the morning sun when it's bright out, and to see those pretty colors. It's really pretty. I think one picture is of a cardinal. I think one picture, I think it might be a cross, and then one is a no, it's not a cross. It's like a country scene, like a field. And then there's one with a deer, a buck. And we have those hanging in that little half round window. And it's so pretty. And then on my mantle, I have a bunch of diamond painting off the canvas of cardinals. Really pretty. I have another off the canvas that I want to do. Judy gave it to me for Christmas, and I want to work on that sometime. And set that on my mantle as well. There we go. Okay, a few more of the number 6. Ought to do it. And then we'll move on to our next color. I knew I saw number 6 down here. Anywhere else? Any other takers? Number 6. Going once, going twice. Goodbye. All right. There we go. Moving right along. So we're going to work on the letter Z, which is this butterscotch color. And we only have a few more colors left, and not many of each color need to go in here, so we are just about done with this picture. Getting closer and closer. There we go. Come on, there we are. And then I'll go inside and enjoy a nice cup of coffee with my family and figure out the rest of our day. We will be doing a live today. There we go. So prepare for that. I know we're going to probably do a little grocery shopping. And just hanging out with the family. That's what I live. I live for these times, the weekends and any time off. That's what it's all about. Family and friends. And I get to enjoy time with both today. I'm very lucky. Oh, it helps if I put a drill on my pen. There we go. Boy, I thought I was going to get away with actually not doing that. You know me. So this is a number 9, a really nice sunshiny yellow. My niece, my goddaughter, she used to call it Lello. There we go. And we're down to 2 colors left. The letter J, which will go above the door in that half moon window. And then the letter R, which we only have a few that need to be there, placed on the side. So as I am wrapping up working on this picture, I do want to ask that you all please comment, like, subscribe to the channel. We are less than 100 subscribers away from my first 1,000, and I'm so excited about that. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you're working on and how the weather is where you are, and how you're doing, for sure. There we go. And we are on the last color, the letter R, which is a really pretty blue. So we'll finish this up. There we go. I have some editing to do this morning as well to put up a video. So that's what my Saturday is going to look like. Hope you have a good Saturday. We are on the last few drills. 3 more to go. 3, 2, last drill. And that was the perfect pour. I didn't have anything left after I poured that. Neat. All right. Oh, that came out so pretty. Let's go ahead and pull you back just a slight bit. There you go. Oh, that came out so pretty. Our purple door. Very nice. Well, friends, thanks for spending this time with me today. This was quite a marathon. There was a lot of colors to go through. I have the colors right here. Let me count them out, and I'll tell you. We had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 colors in this door. That's neat. And it really, you could tell it was worth it. It really came out pretty. So friends, thanks a lot again for stopping by and spending some time with me. Again, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on my channel. It really does help. And until I see you all again for another installment of our Fun with Miniature Pictures, I want to say you take care of yourselves, watch out for one another. God bless, and happy crafting. Goodbye, my friends.